In 1979, one of the most feared whaling ships in the world was operating freely in the Atlantic Ocean. Its name was Sierra. It had hunted tens of thousands of whales. Many countries had banned it from their ports. Arrest warrants existed for its crew. But one night, something unexpected happened. A ship appeared out of the darkness and deliberately rammed the Sierra at full speed. That ship was called Sea Shepherd, and the man commanding it was Paul Watson. This is the story of a man some call a hero, and others call a criminal. The ship Sierra was not an ordinary whaling vessel. It used explosive harpoons, each weighing over 2 tons. When fired, the harpoon pierced a whale's body and detonated internally. The injured whale would struggle, attracting others nearby. The crew used this moment to strike again. By exploiting the social nature of whales, the Sierra became one of the most effective and infamous whaling ships in history. By 1979, it was responsible for the deaths of over 25,000 whales. The collision on July 16, 1979, around 100 miles off the Portuguese coast. The Sierra was hunting once again. Without warning, another ship struck it head-on, then turned back and rammed it again. The attacking ship was Sea Shepherd. Shots were fired from the Sierra's deck, but the damage was already done. The whaling ship was crippled. 2 hours later, the Portuguese Navy arrived. Paul Watson was arrested, but no one claimed ownership of the Sierra. Watson was released. Months later, the Sierra would be permanently sunk. Who is Paul Watson? Paul Watson was born in Canada in 1950. His childhood was difficult, but one thing remained constant: his connection to animals. As a child, his closest companion was a wild beaver he named Bucky. When the animal was killed in a trap, Watson began destroying traps in nearby forests, alone. At age 11, he witnessed a seal hunt. The experience stayed with him forever. At 16, he ran away from home. Greenpeace and the beginning in the early 1970s. Watson joined a group protesting nuclear testing near Alaska's Amchitka Island, a wildlife sanctuary. Their idea was simple but dangerous: place themselves between the test site and the bomb. Although the test went ahead, the global attention forced the United States to halt further nuclear testing. That movement became Greenpeace. Paul Watson was one of its founding members. Why whales? In 1973, Watson encountered research showing the intelligence of whales, especially orcas. They could solve problems, recognize individuals, and even deceive researchers during experiments. Whales, it turned out, were far more emotionally and socially complex than anyone imagined. They had culture, language, family bonds, and they were being hunted toward extinction. Save the Whales in 1975, Greenpeace launched the Save the Whales campaign. Activists placed small boats between whales and harpoons. They carried signs. They documented everything. One moment changed. Watson forever, standing beside a wounded whale. He locked eyes with it. Later, he said he saw understanding, not fear. That moment gave him a purpose. Breaking with Greenpeace, Watson believed documenting crimes wasn't enough. He believed they had to stop them physically. In 1977, After intervening directly during a seal hunt, Watson was removed from Greenpeace. He responded by forming a new group. Its name was Sea Shepherd. A different philosophy. Greenpeace believed in witnessing and legal pressure. Sea Shepherd believed in direct action. If a ship was killing whales, they would stop it immediately. Their logo wasn't a dove or a panda. It was a pirate flag. War at sea over the years. Sea Shepherd disabled multiple whaling ships. They exposed illegal processing plants. They disrupted operations in Iceland, Antarctica, and the Southern Ocean. In 2008, their confrontations with Japanese whaling fleets became global news. A television series called Whale Wars brought their actions into millions of homes. Supporters called them defenders of life. Critics called them extremists. Legal battles and exile. Japan issued arrest warrants. Interpol issued a red notice. Watson became an international fugitive. He lived at sea for months, avoided countries where he'd be arrested. Yet the results were undeniable. Whale populations once near collapse began to recover. Arrest and release in July 2024. Paul Watson was arrested in Greenland based on an old international. Notice, global protests followed. After 5 months, Denmark refused Japan's extradition request. Paul Watson was released. The bigger question: Paul Watson believes humanity is destroying its own life support system. Whales, he argues, play a critical role in regulating Earth's climate and oceans. If they disappear, the damage may be irreversible. Ending. So what do you think? Is Paul Watson a protector of life, or someone who went too far? One thing is certain. This is proof that one individual, driven by belief, can change the course of history. And at 74 years old, Paul Watson says he's not finished yet. If you found this story interesting, please like the video. It really helps the channel reach more people. Subscribe for more real stories about the ocean wildlife and the people fighting to protect our planet. And if you have an opinion on Paul Watson and his methods, share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to read them. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.